Hi, I'm Maggie,
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is
a very bookish podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3 of our podcast, A Very Bookish Podcast. Today, Grace and I are just gonna chill out, hang out, and kind of talk about our December. And we don't really have a topic that we're gonna talk about today. We were gonna talk about our book club, but we're gonna wait for our guest for next week, which, as you probably know, we've already announced is going to be Kate. She's from our book club, so we're going to talk about our book club and like the books we've read in book club with her next week. But today is just kind of a chill podcast, and I don't know what Grace wants to talk about, but I do have some like Barnes & Noble stories to talk about. And working at Barnes & Noble, we could talk about that. We could talk about we don't have to talk about bookish things, right?
I mean, most of the things that we do talk about are bookish.
I mean, yeah, I do work at a bookstore.
We do. Do we want to start off with that story first? So, first off, you started working at Barnes & Noble.
I did.
That's like a dream job for any booker.
A dream job to have, and like it's a lot. I will say, like, it's not like the easiest job to have, especially since I work customer service. So I've done like the cash wrap and stuff, but my bosses really like me to work at customer service because I have my customer service voice. So I always say, "Hi, thanks for calling Barnes & Noble. How can I help you?" And so
I can't turn it on quickly. No, I can. It's my parent talking voice.
It is.
I don't have a voice. I have a parent speaking voice.
Yeah, my coworkers are just like, Maggie, you sound way different because I talk like this, and my customer service voice is like this. But I can go back to this real quickly.
Oh my gosh, have you seen that TikTok where it's just like, oh, like when you speak in a different, like does your tone change when you speak English, and then when you switch to your second language, does it like pitch up or pitch down? And people always stitch it, and they're just like, it's mostly with speaking Spanish. Like, do you notice that your voice when you speak English, it's like at a different tone, and then when it switches when you go to Spanish? And then people will stitch it, and they'll talk like, my voice doesn't change in English. And then they'll switch to Spanish, and then their voice will just pitch up. I feel like that's you with your customer service voice. You're like,
oh, it definitely is
at the level, and then like as soon as you switch to customer service, you go up a couple scales.
Well, for like Russian, I can't tell. So this is my like normal English speaking voice, and then да я говорю по-русски. I think I go deeper when I speak Russian. Like, здравствуйте, меня зовут Маргарита Карпенко. Как дела? Like, I think I do go deeper.
I think you do. You go down.
I think I do, but like Russian girls, like Ukrainian and Russian girls, when they speak Russian, it's like a very like nice, light, airy. It's so pretty. Like, it's I forgot who it is, but she's a popular like bookish. It's like mink art on Instagram. Mintart. She's a Russian artist, and her voice is like beautiful. Like, I love when Russian girls speak Russian because it's just their accents are. But yeah, so I do have a customer service voice, and then I have a princess voice, and it's very light and very airy. Like,
Oh, I don't even think I have one of those. No, I'm pretty normal. No, but I do have a voice because Jacob, my brother, if I'm like on live, sometimes I'll like switch up my voice on TikTok live. I'll switch up my voice, and then like after I finish, I'll like end it, and then all of a sudden he'll come in and be like, "Ugh, why are you talking like that?" Like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." And I have to like switch it back down to like my regular voice.
what does your parent voice sound like?
Gosh, I don't want to use it now.
Do it. I did mine. I did my customer service and my princess and my Russian voice. So you got to do yours.
It's just very nice and very sweet. Like that. I don't know. Asking something a parent would ask. I don't know. I had to get into the mode. Okay. Hi, I'm calling for the parents of Grace Martinez, and I was just calling to let you guys know that we do not have school tomorrow, but we will have school the next week following after, and the assignments that need to be completed are all in Google Classroom. And if you could please have your student fill out all of the forms and get back to the teachers, letting them know that all the assignments are completed. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. That's my voice.
Yeah, that's like a customer service voice.
That's like a customer service voice, but it's not as pitched up, because if I'm talking customer service, then I'll be like, hi, you're calling from Parks and Recs. How can I help you? That's my customer service voice, because that's my Parks and Recs voice. My Parks and Recs voice from my teaching voice. My teaching voice is a little bit different than my Parks and Recs. I have 5 different voices.
Yeah, no, I feel like, but the reason why customer service voices have to be so high is because you understand it more when the voices are higher. Because I feel like I talked like I do end up talking like this, like after like I've been on the phone for like 10 minutes now with the customer, and I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you, have a good day, bye. Because I just lose like my momentum. Like, I'm not gonna talk like this all the time.
Energy. But yeah,
it is. I mean, especially when I'm like, because I spend like 7-8 hours, 6 to 8 hours every day at work, and like, because I'm working like a full week at work, and like 9 to 5. What?
Barnes and Nobles, what do they call you about?
Oh my God. Okay. So so you can either do like a hold. So like you ask like, oh, do they have this in stock? And then you have to like run and go grab the book. And before you can put it on hold, you have to go get the book. And if you don't have the book, you have to tell them, oh, we don't have the book. And people get angry, I tell you. They get angry at booksellers when you don't have the book, or when it says online that you do have the book and then you can't find it. I tell you, the people that go to my store are like older people. So a lot of them like ask for like holds and stuff, but it's always over the phone. But they get so rude. And I'm like, why you gotta be so rude? Like, a lot of people, if you don't work in retail, please be nice to people who work retail, because especially like lower levels, like I'm just a bookseller. I'm not a manager. I haven't been there for long, but like they always are angry with me. And then after
I'm
Grace.
sorry.
Wow, wait, no, I'm kidding. But they're rude. Like, they're so rude to like, especially today. I heard this lady, something about her membership not working and stuff, and she went off on our barista. And I was like, ma'am, that's not the barista's fault. And some people are just rude. Like, I had a guy today, I was like, gonna go see if I had a book for him. And I was like, can I put you on hold? He goes, no, thank you, bye. And just hung up on me. And I was like, I like asked him really nicely too. I was like, hey, can like I go put you on hold so I can go grab the book and bring it so that I can put it on hold for you? He was like, no, thank you, bye. And I was like, bye. And I hung up. I was like,
I'm always super nice to the people I call in customer service, aka Audible, because I call them like all the time. And it has gotten me some pretty good things. Just kidding.
I mean, do you call the same, like, do you always end up talking to the same guy from Audible?
No, it's not always him. Like, literally after I hung up with him, I literally called again like 10 minutes later because of something else.
Oh, okay.
And then it was somebody else.
Oh.
He has been okay. Let me get some backstory here.
Yeah.
So I use Audible a lot. I like audiobooks, if you guys didn't know. And I had some books on my Audible that I had not read, and they had been on my account for like a while. So like at least a year or two. And I never read them. So I think it was like City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of whatever is after that, and a couple of other books. And I was like, dang, I really want to return them, because if I return them, I can get some credits for it. But then I know Audible has like this weird return policy. It has to be in within a year. And so I called and I was just like, hey, hi, I was wondering if you could help me out. I want to return these books, and I've never even opened them. I've never read them. It's not like I listened to them and now I want to return them. I've actually never read them. And he's just like, oh, for sure, like no problem. And I'm like, as soon as I heard the like for sure, I'm like, cool, he's cool. Let me talk to him. Let me be cool and like, you know, try to talk him up a little bit. And he's just, and then, so I'm like, yeah, you know how it is. It's always like, sometimes you never really get to it. And he's just like, no, I understand, but it's just like, we have a policy. And I'm just like, oh, I did not know, wink, wink. And he's just like, all right, let me see what I could do. And then, so like, he puts me on hold, and I'm waiting. I'm thinking like, okay, let's see what he does. It's like 3 titles that I'm trying to return. And he comes back to me like 5 minutes later. He's just like, all right, here. So look, this is what I could do for you. I'm like, okay. So he's like, I can return these titles. Just let me know which ones and I'll take them out. And then he switches them basically and gives me the credits for each of the books that I'm returning. And these books are about 2 years old. Like I said, never listened to them, never used them. And then this conversation is about like 30 minutes long. So there's a lot of that's going on.
It's 30 minutes long?
Yeah, so there's a lot of like other convo stuff going on, but I'm just hitting the main points to move the story along. And then, like, you know, at the end they're just like, okay, is there anything else I can help you with? And I'm just like, no, I think you're good. Like, thank you for helping me out. Like, you have no idea. Like, this is so great, you know, buttering him up. And he goes, okay, for sure. Like, you sure you don't need anything? Like, maybe you need a book recommendation. And I'm like, wait, hold up. I mean, do you have one? Do you have a book rec that you want to give me? I mean, you can. And he's just like, oh yeah, for sure. And then he gives me some title, and he's just like, and now I'm trying to type it out so I could like put it on my TBR. And then he's just like, better yet, let me put it on your wish list right now for you. And he goes into my wish list and he puts it on, and he sees like a couple other books that I have on there. And he's just like, oh, so you read this and you like that? And I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, yeah. I'm hoping he doesn't go too far into the list to see some other kind of book. Some other titles that it shouldn't be publicly said. And he goes, oh well, I'll add a couple others that you might like. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was just like, let me be bold. It's been a while since I talked to a guy. Let me see if I got it. Let me see if I can, you know. And I told him like, hey, so how am I gonna let you know what I think of your book, like the book recommendation? And he's just like, oh well, I don't really have a book club or anything. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I usually like letting people know after they give me a rec what I thought of it. And he's just like, I mean, I have an Instagram. And I'm just like, oh, you can give me your Instagram. Like, I don't mind. And so he gives me his Instagram, and then I'm telling him like, okay, thanks. And I got like 5 credits off of just one phone call. And we've been talking a little bit. It's more just like basic conversation now to kind of let down that story. But I was very hype at the time because I remember snapping Maggie. I remember telling you like, I can't believe that this happened. I can't believe I did it. Such a, like a Wattpad kind of moment. And yeah, that's my customer service story.
But he turned out not to be your type, so.
Yeah, he turned out not to be my type. But it was good for me to like try.
Yeah, I mean, you put yourself out there.
Yeah, he asked me like yesterday. He asked me, have I read the book yet? And I was like, oh, I haven't gotten to it yet. And I told him, I've been busy with like buddy reads and like things like that. And he's just like, what's a buddy read again? And I'm just like, oh, well, it's this that you do. You read it with a friend and you read it at the same time. Sometimes they finish the book faster than you, Maggie.
Sometimes they spoil it for you.
And he's just like, oh, that's so cool. And like, is there an app for that? And I'm just like, no, dude, it's just like you and your friend texting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, okay. And that's so far. That's how I evaded, because I didn't really like the book that he gave me. I tried to listen to it, tried to read it. It was not for me.
What book was it?
It was a nonfiction book, so definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, but I didn't want to shoot the man down by saying like, no, don't give me a rec, because then that'll stop him from recommending for someone else.
Yeah.
I like hyping.
No. Yeah. People who like are like, I try to be like nice to customers. If they're nice to me, I try to be nice, but like if they have like an attitude and stuff, I'm kind of put off, because I'm like, why you gotta be so negative? Especially the people who come to my like our store. Like I went to another location at the mall and it's empty. Like there's nobody there at our peak time is like noon to like 3 is like our peak time for us. And there it was dead. And I was like, but let me start by saying how I got the job at Barnes & Noble, because a lot of people, I posted a video on TikTok saying, oh, I got a job at Barnes & Noble, and like people are like, oh my gosh, I've been applying there for years and I've never got it. And this is the trick, is when you're applying to Barnes & Noble, make sure you have prior retail experience. Because I worked at a fireworks stand. I'm a desk receptionist at a residence hall at my school, and then I've also worked at a boutique before. So I've done like cash. In both previous jobs, I've done like working with cash and like checking people out and stuff, and customer service. I've had that experience, and that's one of the main things you need. And then also apply for the temporary positions in the holiday season, because that's when I'm working as a temp position. But they said that they would like to either keep me on or move me up to Omaha, to the location up in Omaha. And my boss said since I'm doing so well here at the Kansas City location, he would recommend me to the guy up in Omaha. And I was like, thank you. Like, he was like, yeah, you're an amazing worker and we'll definitely recommend you. And so that's how you get into the system, is you trick them into thinking you're going to be there for a little bit, but you stay a long time. So that's how I got the job. And like my store, I don't know how fast other stores are hiring, because like I know other locations in COVID and stuff, they're not hiring as many people, but our location is booming. That they hired like 4 people after me. And so yeah.
Maggie, guess what?
What?
Total tangent from this conversation.
What?
Guess what was just delivered right now?
Your bookish box?
No. If it was, though. No, but
What
I
was
did
it?
yesterday. It's from Owl Crate.
What'd you get from Algrate? Oh, you're King of L fame?
Yeah.
Oh, should we do an unboxing on here? On the podcast?
On the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Because the people listening might not get to see it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
I think you guys who listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that, we're thinking of you guys. So we won't do something just for the YouTube viewers.
I mean, it could be exclusive. We could just start doing our unboxing videos on YouTube, and it could be an YouTube exclusive. Because I know people do that. Like some podcasters, they'll do like exclusive content on YouTube.
We might.
We just might. You might see. Well, we are gonna have a podcast episode where we compare boxes. But so I got Fake Crate. This is as we're talking about customer service. I just feel kind of like about Fake Crate, because I still have not gotten my November box yet.
What?
Yeah.
It's December.
I've still not gotten my November box yet.
We're recording on the 15th, so it's been a while.
Yeah, like it's the 15th of November or December, right? It's the 15th.
We're in December.
Yeah, we're in December. And like I like messaged him and I was like, hey, like, did I just not get the November box? Because I bought it for the November box for the I bought the t-shirt package, the Sealy Crate, which has like Sealy Crate, which has like the t-shirt plus all the items. I bought that for both November and December. And they were like, no, we still have not received one of the items that we're gonna put in the November box. And I was like, how long is it? Like, am I gonna get it before Christmas? Because I paid in October and I still have not received it.
That's a long time.
I know, and I'm just like, I was like, I might just get refunded for it, because I've paid for the November box, and like, we can talk about this in the book subscription box, but I know it's also COVID and stuff, and they're in the UK, so like stuff is different for them, and I know all like mail stuff is backed up, but I was just kind of like, I still haven't gotten my box for November, and it's the middle of December.
I mean, because honestly, they could have just sent it. If it was just one item that they were missing, they could have sent it, because it's been a while. They could have sent it, and they could have just sent that one extra item.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But yeah, I do have quite a few packages coming. Like I said a little bit earlier today, your Christmas present did arrive.
I hope my Christmas present gets to you before Christmas.
I know. That's why I need to hurry up and package it and send it out. And also for
Yeah.
all of our book club girls,
Yeah.
because I know you guys are. We love you guys, by the way. We literally talk about you guys like every single podcast that we have.
We do. Or we talk about them in our regular whenever we're texting and stuff, we talk about them.
We talk about them all the time. We love you guys.
Like,
Things, all good things, all good things.
yes, all good things. But no, I love our bookish group, but we'll talk about that next week. But what were we talking about before we started talking about subscription boxes?
We were talking about
Barnes and Noble.
so what's one Barnes and Noble experience that you've had working there or shopping there? What's one Barnes and Noble experience that you had that you always will remember?
Oh gosh, I gotta think about that because like I have so many like experiences, but like I don't know, like good or bad.
Oh.
Good or bad. Okay, so I kind of take pride in myself for this. So for audio listeners, I'm holding up J.R. Ward's Dark Lover book, and so I got this on Monday.
Wait. Dark Lover, which is
the first book of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and so it has a half-naked man with a dagger on the front. And so I got this on Monday, read it on Monday, finished, done. Go to work today, and I was like, I need to get the second book. With my 40% off at Barnes & Noble, I need to get the second book. And so I pull up the second book on like our Bookmaster, which is like what like our inventory and stuff, and I'm looking and I'm like, we have one left. We got this one book 2018. January 2018 has been in the store for that long. And it looks brand new. Like nobody's ever touched this book. And so a guy I work with, Michael, he goes, I will buy you something from the cafe if you can find that. Here's the thing. I already looked for it earlier and I found it.
You were just like,
and I was like, you don't think I can find it? And he goes, no, we've had it since 2018. You're not going to find it. I walked over to it, grabbed it, brought it back and went, Michael, is this what you're looking for? He goes, no, that's a different cover. So I put in the ISBN number and it pulls up because it pulls up as like the older covers, which I'll grab the third book. Yes, I bought the third book today as well. Looks like this. It's more of a
very heavy vampire. It's kind of a close up on like somebody biting into a woman's neck, a man.
And it has like a blue hue over it, so it's like one even like blue tone book, versus like where the other ones are like one male, but it's not just like a background color and then the male is in full color. But this is just like a monotone one, and these are like the newer covers. And so the book on our online inventory was like of the newer covers and not of these old like singular man covers. And he's like, you're never gonna find it. And then I showed him and we did it by ISBN. He goes, oh. And so he like, I'm going throughout my day and he hands me his credit card and he's like, go buy you something. And I was like,
thank you very much.
I was like, well, he's like, so what do you want for the cafe? And I was like, oh, I want the Maggie's classic. And he was like, okay, here, write it down. And then like I walked away to like go do like I need help the customer. And then he like walked up and he's like, go buy you something from the cafe. And I was like, okay. So I got a caramel brulee. Here's the Maggie's classic. Caramel brulee latte with 4 shots of espresso.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I've had 12 shots of espresso today.
Oh my gosh.
But I worked from 1 to 8. Well, 1 to 8:30. So, yeah. I drink coffee before work, and then I had 2 creme brulees with 4 shots of espresso each.
Goodness, woman, do you drink water?
I drink about 32 ounces of water. No, I went to the bathroom and my stomach, like it hit like 6 p.m. and I like doubled over. I was like, oh no. But he like tried to comfort me and say I wasn't going to find this book. And I was like, sir, so I look for covers, right? So when I look for books, I always look at the cover because I can always find by the cover. And sometimes the author, but mostly the cover. And he got on to me. He's like, Maggie, are you just looking at the cover? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you don't look for the author? And I go, well, I do that too, but I know it by cover. And he's like, okay, that's weird. And I'm like, Michael, do not come for me. I can look by the cover.
People.
So I did have a harder time like finding it earlier today because I was like, it was this cover for like people on YouTube, but it was darker. So it was a darker bluish cover. But these actually look really nice together. Like, oh, okay. I can't wait to get all of them. All 18 of them. Oh yeah, Grace got it, and the reason why I got it was because of Grace. And then I totally sped through it way faster than her.
I haven't even picked it up to start it.
It smells good.
Mine does not.
Really?
Mine has like a. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it sounds nice. The only thing that's weird is like
it's like that mass-produced size, like that adult romance sizing of the book. So that's my one thing that I don't like.
Yeah, I do have to press down the spines and stuff because this one does have a little creasing in the spine. From when I was like holding it just like this, and the spine started to crease when I was holding it like that far. Did you just break the spine? Did you just break the spine again on a book?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. So let me tell you this backstory. Okay, so Grace was on a live one time, and I was like, oh my gosh, The Witcher. She takes The Witcher book, and I'm gonna grab.
Where is it? Hold on, I have it. I have it somewhere. Should I go get my copy to show?
Grab my Game of Thrones book.
It was on accident. It really was. It was on a TikTok live. It was on accident.
My dad broke my Game of Thrones spines, so sad, I know. But she went what? Like fully what? And I was like, I said to the chat, I was like, Grace, you did not. And she looked at the chat and she saw my thing and she went, and like she finally realized that she like broke the spine for it. And I was like, Grace, you just committed an act of treason in my presence. But yeah, so Grace likes to break the spines, everybody.
It was on accident. I do not like to break the spine. Whoa. Don't fall, Grace. Here. This mass-produced copy of The Witcher, The Last Wish. And I literally just went like this. I went like, and I cracked it twice because I was just like, oh my gosh, that was on accident. Like I literally did not mean to do that. And then I went quack, did it again. And I cracked it in 2 places. I still haven't touched this book since then. But it's on accident.
But yeah. So I did. Yeah, this one's a little cracked. But I got this because you got it on Sunday, and then I bought it Monday because I wanted to read it with you.
About Sunday?
And then I just read it.
Should we tell them my story about Sunday?
Oh, tell your story about Sunday. Tell it. We have so many book boy experiences. Oh my gosh.
Lately, it's been happening a lot, which I'm not. I was kind of feeling myself this weekend and this week. Hence all my TikTok videos with my makeup and everything. I was definitely okay, so as we know, Maggie got her job at Barnes & Noble, and she's just like, let me know when you guys go. And I'm like, for sure. So I went recently I went to the Grove here in Los Angeles. It's kind of like this outdoor mall type of thing. It's really nice, really Christmassy at this time of year. And everybody goes, and I went to the Apple store to go fix my phone. So Maggie texted me the employee ID number, and I had it on my iPad with me. And I'm like, look, it's going to be about an hour that I have to fix my iPhone. So I'm like, let me go to Barnes & Noble. So I went to Barnes & Noble, and I'm looking around. I'm thinking, like, great, what am I going to do here for an hour? Little did I know, right? That's always, like, the bad thing to do. Like, you only got an hour, go to a bookstore, it's going to go over like this. No, but so I was looking through the aisles, and I was looking for books that I wanted to read in the mood. And I got a couple. One book that some members in our book club wanted to read just separate of the book club. And of course, this beautiful book by J.R. Ward. And only because so many people talk about it. And so like I literally picked it up because I saw it there and I was like, all right, fine. Grabbed it. And then there was a girl walking through the aisles and she was like young, like maybe 16, 15, walking with her friends, and they were talking about books, and then they were said a couple of names of certain books that I liked. And I was like, do I talk to them? Do I let them know that I'm a fellow YA fantasy lover like them? No, they're probably gonna look at me like, oh, who is this lady? This old lady. No. So two of their friends leave, and then like one was there, and I was just like, hey, by the way, that's a really good book. She was holding like I think Fable. She was holding Fable.
To Kill a Kingdom.
Oh, To Kill a Kingdom. And I was just like, look, that's a really good book. It's a really quick read. It's fast-paced, very siren-y. It's nice. And then she was just like, oh, okay. And then I'm just like, and if you like that, read Fable, because Fable's pretty good too. And it's not a pirate book, but it's really good. I really liked it. My whole book club liked it. So if you like that book, you should also get Fable and all these things. And I dropped a couple recs. Felt so good. Felt so happy, because she was just like, oh my gosh, I really want to get all these books, but my parents. And I'm like, girl, I feel you. Whatever. So next, another lady, while I was walking through the adult romance aisle, a lady comes up to me. She's like, look, you seem to have a lot of experience with all these adult romance books. And I was just like, honey. And she's like, can you help me out? And I was just like, cool. let me help you out real quick. And I helped her out really quickly. And so I was feeling a very good high of being in the store. It's coming up time for me to go get my phone again. And keep in mind, I'm texting Maggie on my iPad throughout the I'm in the store. So I'm like carrying like 4 books in my arm plus my big old iPad Pro, and I'm texting her.
You have a Pro?
Yeah.
That
I
just makes
know.
it even worse.
Girl, my arm was so tired. I was like, no. So we get it. I'm going to go check out, and I'm like, crap. And I keep on looking at this cover with like this half naked man on the front, and I'm like, there's only dude cashiers, and I'm like, oh great. And so this one guy, he's just like, okay, next. And I go up to him, and then he's like starting to scan the books, and he's just like, hey, are you a member? And I'm like, actually, I'm an employee. And I was just like, I'm an employee. And he's just like, oh, my bad. You know, because that's what we say in LA. And he goes like, oh, so what's your employee ID number? And I'm like, oh, it's so. And I say the number. And he's just like, oh, can you say that one more time? And I flipped because I thought I said it wrong. And he's just like, no, okay, I got it. And he puts it in right. And then he asks me, so what store do you work at? I panicked so bad. I was like, I I'm not, I don't work around here. I don't work around here. And he goes like, oh, so where do you work? And I'm just like, oh, I'm from out of state. And he's just like, oh, really? I didn't know our number works out of state. And I'm just like, me neither. But here I am. And he goes, okay, so where are you from? And I was just like, Kansas. And he goes, oh, okay, so what are you doing here in LA? And I'm like, I'm visiting family. I'm visiting my family. My family lives out here in LA. And he goes like, oh, okay, so why'd you go all the way over there? And I'm like, school. Yeah, I went out there for school, but I'm probably going to transfer out here because, you know, family and, you know, COVID, you're doing school mostly online. And he goes like, oh, okay, well, that discount is really something, huh? And I'm just like, I know, 40% off. I mean, and we start vibing, and he's just like, yeah, I spend like half of my check here. As soon as I get paid, half of my check goes right back into Barnes and Noble. And I'm like, I know. And I'm rolling with the punches. I am lying through my teeth. And I say, oh yeah, best believe, because as soon as I get paid, I come right back around to any Barnes and Noble store and I giving half of my check right back to Barnes and Noble. And he starts laughing, and I'm feeling good, right? Thinking like, okay, it's regular conversation. Then he says, well, hopefully you do get transferred back out here, and maybe you could get transferred at this store. And I was like, Um, maybe. uh, and
You're a
he's just
damn
like,
good liar.
man.
We
And I'm like,
we
yeah,
hope he
sure.
never sees this. If he never can see this episode, none of my coworkers can ever see this episode. Ever.
Literally. Barnes& and Noble employees better not be listening to this. This
I
was
mean, I am a
all,
Barnes and Noble employee.
well, except for you, because you're the one that broke the rules. And so I walk away, and then I'm just like, okay, because then Maggie also tells me that it works at the cafe, so I go to the Starbucks inside the store, and like I'm still kind of reeling off of like what he said, because like he kind of gave me that look, that kind of like, you know,
The
you again, right? And I was like, okay, and he was kind of cute, but you know, it's hard to tell with the mask. So, but he
yeah.
was kind of cute. He had nice eyes. So I go to Starbucks, and then I'm like getting a drink, and then I'm like, and they're like, oh, do you have a number? And I was just like, I'm an employee. And he's just like, okay. And then they put it in. And then she asks me, so what store do you work at? And I'm like, oh, I'm not, and I'm relaying the same story. Oh, I'm actually from out of state. I'm from Kansas. I'm going to school out there, but actually I came to visit my family here that's in LA. Hopefully I transfer back over here because, you know, COVID or whatever. Same story. I keep it rolling. And she goes like, oh, that's cool. And her supervisor's kind of behind her fixing something. And he kind of like looks over his shoulder. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting caught up in the lie. And she's just like, all right, cool, here you go. And then like I literally go away, and then like I get my coffee because he gives it to me, and he like kind of like smiles at me like like we're in the same group kind of, and I'm like, yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no. You live vicariously through me.
Literally. My
Yeah,
God.
no.
And so that's my story. I walked away with 3 books and a whole nother life. Literally.
You're a Barnes and Noble employee too now.
Employee, I mean.
No, yeah. Ugh, the discount's really nice, which it's actually bad because like I spend half of my check there. I spend like $3. I'm $4 a day on coffee, which is not that expensive. It's like, I mean, compared to, I get 40% off, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, I do spend a lot of money there. I need to tone it down. 2021 is when I'm gonna tone it down. I still got 2 weeks left.
Right. Because those shelves behind you, which ones are your TBR shelf?
Okay, so for those on YouTube, you can see that this whole rack up here is my TBR, and it ends right here. So it comes all the way from here around to here. And then what I've actually read starts here, starts here, and goes all the way over to here.
I'm trying to count them. I want to say like at least 36, 38,
Books to read?
36. Yeah. Is it that many? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Well, I can't count at the same time as you.
2, 33, 34, 30. Oh my gosh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 58 already. And that's just the
Okay,
top.
we'll just say 60. I have over 60 books to read.
60. We'll go 60.
So,
and now
yeah.
you're bringing home 3 books every shift. I think that that's a problem. I think that that's a problem. Girl, like, my physical TBR is not even that long. I want to say in-house, I have about 50 books, and I have read 30 of them.
Okay, so here's the thing. Over quarantine and stuff, I read a lot of ebooks and stuff through my library. So I have like a library shelf that I read a lot of my books for, like book club and stuff. I read those books through my library, and like the JLA books I read through my library. So I do a lot of like, I save a lot of money by not buying every single book I read. Because like I don't like the JLA books. I don't buy it because my library has them, so I don't need to buy those. But like, I mean, I get 40% off.
I know.
Or I buy a lot of bargain prices. I buy bargain. I do buy a lot of bargain. And a lot of these are arcs too that I've gotten from my library.
True.
So,
but yeah, you're not as bad as I am. Whereas me, I started quarantine with one book.
Oh, I bought like 80 plus books during quarantine.
I bought all of these books. And yeah. Or I've
probably spent as much as you have. Because I buy a lot, so much bargain. Like I go to Books A Million and I buy like books for like $3 to $5 each.
And me, I buy multiple copies because I just forget that I order them until they get here, and I have 3 copies.
I don't have any like multiple copy books, so.
And now I have 4.
Except Throne of Glass.
My giveaway winners. So I had a giveaway on TikTok, and hers, she should have gotten hers already. Hopefully she has. And that was like the regular edition of How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. And then I did another giveaway on TikTok, on Instagram, because I had double of the Barnes & Noble collector's edition of the same book of How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. But one of my copies came personalized and signed from Holly Black. And one of them was just like a regular one. And now that just got here today, right now, like 20 minutes ago, was my Owl Crate edition of the same book.
Yeah, no, I don't buy many. Like, I should start, honestly, for the J.R. Ward books. I think I'm going to have these 3, and then the rest I'm going to read, like, an ebook, I think, through my e-library, hopefully. Because, like, I can check out hardcover books if they have a dust jacket. I can check them out with Barnes & Noble. I just have to tell my managers and stuff that I'm checking them out. But I should probably start reading the J.R. Ward ones through my library. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with these 3 and then start buying them or reading them through my library because I'm reading them in a day. So.
Honestly, what I should have done, because where am I going to hide this?
Oh, I'm putting it on my shelf. I have nowhere to hide it. I'm putting it down like on this, like right like at this one.
Yeah, because that's what I got. There's certain books you cannot have.
It's where all my box sets are. I'm putting it with my box sets in like the corner tucked.
No, because it is what it is. But yeah. So what's on your immediate TBR? Since we're on TBRs now.
So my immediate TBR is Lover Eternal, which is the second book of the series of the Black Dagger Brotherhood, which has 19 books in it, FYI. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one, he looks good. There's a tattoo on the back. That needs to be a quote. Kiss. Maggie Kiss's book. He looks good. For those audio listeners, I did just kiss the book. But this is my so J.R. Ward's Lover Eternal, JLA's Apollyon. I need to finish that book. I'm starting to read multiple books at once, which I've never really done before, but I actually quite enjoy because I think I have ADHD. Grace can probably agree that I probably have ADHD. So like I like, that's why I read so fast. Because I can't like just like sit there and think. I have to keep going, or I end up just not reading it anymore. So having like multiple books to read at once allows me to like switch things up. Yeah. But then Apollyon, but in the Covenant series, it's the third book, but the fourth one because there's a novella in between. No, fifth one because the fourth one's like a novella. So technically the fourth. Yeah, I'm right. It's called Apollyon. It's the Covenant series, so it's like Percy Jackson, but for older kids. And then Seasons of the Storm, which is our book club read. Those are my my current TBR to get through right now. What about you?
So I finished Seasons of the Storm today,
Mhm.
and I have thoughts and emotions about it.
I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna read it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then snap me and we'll talk about it.
Mhm.
And then I have Shadow of Night by
Hmm.
Deborah Harkness. It is the second book in the All Souls trilogy. The first one is Discovery of Witches. And this one is going to be a buddy read with Emily. She and I got the editions from each of our wish lists, Amazon wish list. So I got her edition and she got my edition. And basically, we're going to read through the book together and annotate it. And then when we're done with the book, we will send it back to each other. So this is her copy that I have holding. And I'm going to annotate it and then send it to her. She's going to annotate my copy and send it to me. So that one, which is going to be fun because it's going to first time that I do it. And then I have Crown of Midnight.
Which is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. Mine is right over here.
Orange section, yes.
Yep.
And then I was supposed to read Rhapsodic.
Yeah, I haven't finished the second book.
And that's the Bargainer series.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first book in the Bargainer series.
Did you get the physical book?
I couldn't find it. So I went when I went to Barnes and Noble, I went specifically to look for that book. But because I couldn't find it, it wasn't in store. So I was
I think she self-publishes, so I don't think they have it in Barnes and Noble.
They do have it, but online you have to order it.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll probably do that. But I was just like, I do want to get it, but then I also kind of, I don't know. But Crown of Midnight I am reading on ebook because I had it on ebook for years and now I'm reading it there. And then that's it for this month.
No.
January, yeah, that's it.
We need to read A Heart So Fierce and Broken.
How did I forget about that one? A Heart So Fierce and Broken. Oh no.
We'll keep going.
A Heart So Fierce and Broken is
like January to December to January.
Yeah. We can push that one back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's our buddy read. So Maggie and I, gosh, when did this start? It started a little while ago where we were just like comparing books that we wanted to read, and so many of them were so similar that we were just like
the exact same books.
And so we're just like, we'll read them together. And so now I don't even know how many books that we have that we said that we were going to read together. But this book specifically, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, is the second in the Curse Breaker series and is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I read a few months ago. And you just read like maybe last month or the month.
Yeah, I read it in November.
Yeah. And so we're reading A Heart So Fierce and Broken this month, end of month and beginning of year. And A Vow So Bold and Deadly is coming out in January.
Yes. Sorry, I hear my dad, so I'm on mute.
We're reading it in January and we're trying to finish up that series. We have a couple other books that we're reading together.
Hold on. I'm going to go tell my father to be quiet.
But yeah. So Maggie and I, we kind of do this thing where we always say that we're going to read a book together. And now she has it that I have to start the book before her. I'm going to say this before she comes back. Because she literally, like, she'll speed through the book. And I
can still hear you. I can still hear you.
I did not say anything, okay? No, but you do. You speed through the book so fast. So now I have to start the book before you.
Yeah. I think
up.
Yeah.
So yeah. What's the book that we're reading after this series?
After A Curse Breaker? Ooh. I think We Hunt the Flame? Or have we decided yet?
We have a few on our list that we said.
Well, okay, so we have
We have how many? I know we have those. Oh, All the Stars and Teeth.
Oh, yeah, that one's right here.
Are we gonna put that as a vote for
Yeah,
book,
we're putting that on our book club.
book club
The
read?
vote.
Okay. Nevernight.
Nevernight, yeah. Maybe we'll put those. I think we should just put the books that we want to read together just on for the book club. Because that's how I get to read books, is with the book club, or like books that I wouldn't really read. But I also think with the book club, we need to start doing more books that that aren't just fantasy. I think we need to branch out for the book club. I know, like maybe more like sci-fi, some fantasy, because I think
Aurora Rising is a series, but most of you guys read it already.
yeah.
You guys read Illuminae.
The Daughter of
And
Smoke and Bone. Have you seen that book yet? I'll show it. Let me grab it.
you did cover, right? That you got. Yeah, I've seen that one.
I just got it in. We just got in the second book, but it's so pretty. This is like the remade. It's so pretty. The covers are so pretty. That's
Because the other
another.
was like she was wearing like a white and black scarf or something like that.
It was a different cover, but this one is.
That one's pretty. I like the blues.
I like the neon. It's a neon theme. The second and third book are really pretty too. We have them in the store, and I have them on hold so that when my mom gives me Christmas presents, she can get me those.
Honestly. What about the what's that series by Marissa Meyer? The new one.
Cinder?
No, that's the old one.
Caraval? No.
That's not Marissa Meyer.
Renegades?
Yes.
Renegades. We have that on our TBR?
No.
Oh.
It's on mine.
It's not on mine.
Fine.
Oh, City of Bones. We wanted to read the Shadowhunter series.
I want to read the Shadowhunter series, but I do not want to put myself through reading Shadow of Bone again. I mean Shadow of Bone.
City of Bone?
Bones. Because so when quarantine started, I read The Night Circus, and then I was gonna
I sold my friend The Night Circus today.
Oh, you
I
did?
convinced her to get it. Yeah, it was a buy one get one 50% off. It was on our BOGO tables, and I convinced her. And then her other book was like The City of Star something by her. But yeah, I got my friend that. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Starless Sea or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after I read that, I was like, I need to read something else, and I had ordered Akatar, but it was not ready for me to pick it up yet. So then I picked up City of Bone because I had it, and I have the old covers. Everybody knows what the old covers look like, and
They're not that nice.
and so I read through it, and I had read it years ago, and I never finished the series. I stopped at the first one, and when I tell you, as soon as I got Akatar, it was a struggle to finish City of Bones, and I don't like DNFing. And so I literally was like, oh gosh, and I sped through it, trying to get through it as quickly as possible. Honestly, I think I skimmed most of the pages, just like flipping, but I was like, eh. And I moved on. So if we do end up doing that series, which is fine if we do, but do not make me read the first book again.
I won't. No, I'll read it because it's only 300 something pages. I can read it in a day. Yeah,
and then we'll read
it.
I'll start the second one while you're still on the first one, so that way we can.
Yeah, so that
up.
way, by the time you are halfway through the second one, I'll be done with the second one.
Yep. Then I also have to finish the Ember in the Ashes series because
yeah, I'm waiting for you so that I can read this together with you. But so yeah, so that's our TBRs and some of our Barnes and Noble experiences. I definitely will collect some more over the weeks that I have left.
One question: what's the first book that you're going to read in 2021?
So honestly,
we'll hold that question. and then we'll leave it
Well,
for.
we're gonna have our like 2020 wrap up book, and
Let's start thinking about it.
we'll start thinking about it. But I keep eyeing this book because I kind of want to read it. But I have so many other books that I've gotten. Like, I tend to do that. I don't know about you, but I will buy new books and then I'll read them before the other ones that I bought like a month or two ago.
Literally.
Like so. Oh, I did buy Spoiler Alert. The romance one.
Because it wasn't in store when like I was looking for that one because you had
I can ship it to you.
Celine got it for me.
Oh, she did?
She got it off of my wish list.
Oh wait, which one did she get for you?
You had me at Ola.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, spoiler alert. I'm excited to read it. But I got Love from A to Z, which is a TikTok creator, or she has a TikTok account and I follow her. It's her book, and then I did spoiler alert as like my Christmas gifts for my sister, but I bought them and then yeah. I had her wrap them and say to from Caroline to Maggie, but yeah, I kind of am interested in start doing Shatter Me. Definitely what I'm going to read in January is Shatter Me.
Please do, because I need you to fall in love with Warner very, very quickly.
Well, okay, so my friend is coming for my friend she lives in Kentucky, but she's very isolated. Like, she lives with her mom and her dad, so she moves between their houses, and so she's just at home all the time, and so she's quarantining herself, but she's going to come out to Kansas City and stay with me because my parents are leaving, and so we're going to spend New Year's together, and we're just going to sit around, and I'm just going to read all day because I'll have 4 days off of work, which I'm excited about, and I think I'll just read. So I hopefully will read Shatter Me during that time because I'm going to get the audiobook and speed through it, and then get all the books from my library because I don't want to buy all of them, honestly, because it's a lot to buy.
I need to give you my like Audible account information because I have all the Shatter Me books plus the novellas.
Ooh, because sometimes I listen to the audiobook without even getting the book. Yeah. And I don't know how many people do that, but I do that too sometimes. I did it with Serpent and Dove. I never read the book.
Honestly, I listened to the audiobook more on my phone dropped. Honestly, I listened to the audiobook more for Seasons of the Storm than actually like reading through it physically. Just because I was like, I don't know, I was just busy and driving around a lot, so then that's what I mostly read. Like, I picked up my brother once and I had the audiobook playing and he's just like, what are you? And I'm just like, you already know, don't act,
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Listening to Grace and I talk about our Barnes and Noble experiences and our TBRs that we're currently reading for the rest of the month. So stay tuned for next week's episode where we have our second guest, which is going to be Kate from our book club. And you can check out her Instagram at Nautical Reads. She does follow the podcast, so you can just check on our followers list and find her. And we will have a post up so you can go post questions to ask her. Anything to add, Grace?
We're going to be talking about book boyfriends. So if you have any questions or any book boys that you want us to talk about or anything of that nature, go ahead and comment on our Instagram story because that's where we're going to have our questions open for us when we record our next podcast. But this is what I want you guys to do. So if you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening on YouTube and you're made it all this way through this whole story, comment one story from Barnes & Noble that you have that you will not be able to forget ever. And just share some stories with us because we know we all have a Barnes & Noble story. So go ahead and comment down below and just share your embarrassment with us.
Yeah, and definitely if you don't follow us, please follow us on Instagram. We do post a lot of like questions and stuff, so like that would really help us out if there's a topic that you want to listen to, or for our guests, questions you want to ask them, please check out our Instagram at A Very Bookish Podcast, and our Twitter is at A Very Bookish Podcast. I don't post much on the Twitter because we have 0 followers, so go ahead and go follow our Twitter. All the links will be in our link trees in the description down below. And thank you guys so much for listening. I had fun telling some stories about Barnes & Noble. My experience definitely as a employee. I have many more stories. Maybe we'll do like a full like Q&A with a Barnes & Noble employee for Maggie. I just hope none of my coworkers see this, especially since I am crushing on some of my coworkers. But I have to keep it to myself because some of my coworkers are a lot older than me, and I don't realize that. Like, I had my friend, and she's like, yeah, I'm 31, and I was like, you're 31? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, you're 11 years older? And she goes, how old are you? And I was like, what?
It's 11 years. Oh my gosh, I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that you're so young.
I mean, I'm almost 20. I got a month and a half left of my teen years.
Okay, 30
Okay,
is
that's not that far.
for me.
That's not true, but thank you guys so much for listening. And with your Barnes and Noble story, tell us your Barnes or your Starbucks like order drink, because mine is a caramel brulee latte with 4 shots of espresso. Grace, what is yours?
Grande caramel macchiato with only 2 pumps of caramel and an extra shot of espresso.
See? So thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a good day. Bye.
Bye.